You just met Jeffrey Manchester, a guy who cops strongly believe is the rooftop robber, one of the most elusive crooks of all time. When we left the story, he was behind bars and plotting his next move. A master at breaking in, he was going to see if he was any good at breaking out. Cops say Manchester's first step in his escape plan was getting a job inside the metal plant. That gave him close access to the prison's delivery trucks. And it allowed him to go ahead with step 2, cutting down a piece of 3/4-inch plywood, painting it black, and wedging it between the frame rails on the bottom of a delivery truck. Police say Manchester then stocked up on one other important escape item, bubble gum.
He told the inmate that he chewed gum, and if he was ever out in the public or anything like that, he could chew gum and blow bubbles, and he wouldn't look suspicious.
June 15th, Manchester had just finished his shift at the metal plant. Cops say Manchester had planned the escape for weeks. He had managed to stick the plywood in place underneath the truck. He'd also stashed a change of clothes. And he managed to sneak in one more thing. A piece of cardboard he painted black with magnets attached to it.
Keep your shirt on.
Once the cardboard with the magnets taped to it was attached to the truck, Manchester was hidden from the view of the guards. Guards who inspected each and every delivery truck as they drove off.
Have a good day.
At 3:30, the truck left the prison. Manchester was hoping his ride to freedom would take him as far away from Brown Creek as possible. But there was one problem. The driver wasn't making a long-distance delivery. He was merely headed to an administration building just beyond the prison walls.
Wait a minute. There. Manchester. Manchester. Anybody see Manchester? The unit started their head count at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was at that time they verified that they was missing an inmate.
Master Control, I have an inmate missing in housing unit 1B.
At the time it left, there would be no incoming or outgoing traffic into the parking lot area.
Corrections officers decided to check Manchester's locker to see if he had left behind any clues. But the only thing he left behind was a message via the Three Stooges. Manchester had scribbled me under Mo and DOC for Department of Corrections pointing toward Larry and Curly.
I think it was his just little way of saying, you know, I got you. You can't outsmart me, I've outsmarted you.
Shortly after the escape, Manchester changed into his stashed street clothes and was lucky enough to be picked up by a passing automobile. Little did he know the driver was the prison's math teacher. Fortunately for Manchester, he wasn't in any of the teacher's classes.
I had never seen him before. He said that he'd gotten stranded and he needed a ride into Charlotte.
I'm not going that way. I could run you up to a gas station just right up the road, though.
Okay, that'll be great.
The math teacher dropped Manchester off at a nearby gas station. The next day, he saw Manchester's face on the news and called the police. He realized he got off lucky.
My wife has told me that if I do pick up another hitchhiker, if I survive the hitchhiker, she'll kill me.
Cops learned that Manchester later hitched a ride from a trucker to Charlotte. He hasn't been seen since.
Now that he's escaped from prison, he's been convicted. He has a lot of time to do. He has nothing to lose, and he is very dangerous.
Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Manchester is described as a loner. He was in the Army and keeps himself in good shape. Friends say he's a huge NBA fan and lives and dies with the fate of the Sacramento Kings. Manchester's from California, and police believe he may be hiding there tonight. If you've seen Jeffrey Manchester, call us now at 1-800-CRIME-TV. Now, we want to grab Manchester tonight, but cops think he could be getting more and more dangerous, so please watch out. And also watch out for this. Manchester is very vain about his hair, and he's losing it. So cops believe he may have spent some of his stolen money on hair plugs. So let's grab Manchester quick so he can watch his hair turn gray in his prison cell. Now stay with us, we'll be right back.